Drop.
Is this the fucking mic?
Drop.
This is exactly what I should be doing.
What's up, and welcome to this week's episode of The Drop, your weekly source for all things NFT and crypto art, as well as upcoming drops by notable people in the Mograph industry. Let's jump into it, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's jump into it.
What do we got? Anything? Sorry, I'm pulling up my. I should have had this all up. I need to have this
with the
same
main drops. We can start with the main drops this week.
Yeah, let's start with the main drops. Let me go into the drop list. Here we go. Open up. Thanks to all the new listeners and stuff like that, and all the people who have hit us up on all the socials and not asking for a foundation invite. We really appreciate that a lot. We've had a lot of people, you know, we leave the drop to the end. We leave the NFT talk at the end because we know a lot of people don't like the NFT talk. So we appreciate the people who are sticking around and, you know, watching the drop. So for those who have emailed us and said we hate the drop, stop listening. We hit the drop time.
Bye.
So yeah. So I went through and I found a common theme on this week's The Big Drops with Nifty Gateway. And the big theme was, and I feel like this is going to become commonplace, is that there are a lot of musicians collaborating with artists and doing drops.
Yeah.
You know, that is the number one thing that I've seen. And I want to put this out there to all artists who are listening to this. For the first time in our careers, we actually have leverage, right? Because all these artists want to actually do some work with us. They want to do collaborations and stuff like that. And they're coming to us because we are talented and we can create good art. It's always been where, you know, the musicians, like, people are just like, oh, so happy to work with musicians. They'll basically, you know, get paid whatever and work for peanuts. And, you know, a lot of musicians will take advantage of that, or they'll see that as the norm, right? I know too many people in this industry who have gotten hurt by working with a lot of really well-known musicians who we know have plenty of money, and they've worked over hours and worked for little pay and blah, blah, blah. But as artists, as 3D artists, as motion graphics artists, we need to know that we're in a good place right now for people who are wanting to collab. Right. You know, so if an artist comes to you, don't accept anything, in my opinion, don't accept anything less than 50-50, you know, especially with big name brands too. We recently had someone reach out to one of our friends and say, hey, we'd love to do an NFT, like a, you know, a stupid company or whatever, just some big name company. And they're like, we'll give you 10%. It's like, no. Listen, the artists are doing all this stuff, and the NFT stuff is new. You know, if they want to take advantage of it, they've got to pay the artists, you know? Yeah. So anyway, on that note, I've seen a lot of collaboration between like artists and musicians lately, which is cool. I think if you're going to do it and you're going to do it well, and I think this is a thing that irks me, is that when I'm going on and looking at Nifty's Twitter and they're announcing all the musicians who are collabing, you go to these musicians' Twitter pages and it's like, they're just like, oh, I just let someone use my music. You know, they're not advertising the NFTs or anything like that. It's almost like they're not really into it.
It's not a true collab.
It's not a true collab, and that's annoying to me. I feel like if musicians are going to get into this space and musicians are going to do NFTs and stuff like that, they need to understand that, like, you know, we're not doing it just to collab on music. You know, we don't want to just use your music for our stuff. Let's collaborate on something. Let's actually collaborate.
And I think percentages could be different in that case too, right? Like if somebody wants to quote unquote collab and use something that's already created, okay, maybe the percentages are different. But if someone's working on this piece of music and someone else is working on this piece of art, it certainly does seem like that needs to be a 50-50 collab. Yeah, because you're doing it for the art. You're either a musician is making a piece of music specifically crafted for a beautiful piece of art, or vice versa. Someone's creating the art that's whatever their inspiration is coming from that particular track. You're not just slapping a track on something. So
right. Totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree. So in that space, I skipped a lot of Nifty Gateways drops this week because either they were a musician collabing with an artist and I didn't know who the artist was, or like the musician didn't care about the NFTs. So it's like, why should I care about promoting your NFTs if you're not going to even care about promoting your own NFTs, right? So the notable ones that I found this week, Nifty's been changing the way they do their drops. I think it's because their website sucks and they keep on getting jammed with like people buying stuff. In the past they were, and now not so many people are buying open editions anymore. But today, 7 p.m. March 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, there's an artist named Super Plastic. They do these super cool vinyl looking toys. I think it's right up EJ's alley. EJ would really like this stuff. A lot of really, really cool, like little, so the vinyl toy type looking stuff, and that's super exciting stuff. I really like that stuff. It was similar to, who was it that did
that woman that does them, right? EJ's
I don't remember.
Really big in. Okay, you keep going, and I'll see if I can remember.
Yeah. So next one, so that one's 7 p.m. tonight. The next one is tomorrow. This is really interesting. It's Sophia the Robot and Andrea Bonacito, I think are the names. But Sophia the Robot, some of y'all may know
the actual robot, the one that said kill all humans or whatever?
Yes, kill all humans, right. I don't know how they're collabing on this. I just thought this was interesting. They're not like Mograph artists or anything like that, but it's like, okay, so now we have a robot making art? All right, cool. I'm down. Artist subjective, whatever. Right. And it begs the question, who is actually creating the art, Right. And is it original art? I don't know. It's very interesting. So I just thought I'd do that one. So I'm glad you knew the reference, because I was like, oh, we just referenced the Silicon Valley episode where the dude falls in love with the robot, right? Let's see, what else? That was tomorrow on the 23rd. The next day, the 24th, March 24th. I think this one's beautiful. I don't know how you say the name.
Bill Ellis.
Bill Ellis. Oh, okay. Yeah, Bill Ellis. There's a piece in memoriam. There's these beautiful pieces, and it says, in tribute to the memory of everyone who is no longer with us. But I like being able to, like, seeing people walk through this actual physical space and seeing this, these 3D models and stuff with like skulls and like rib cages and like all these skeletons and stuff. It's very beautiful. So I'm very excited about that one. That is Wednesday, the 24th. Now, if you're curious about the times, because Nifty Gateway's been doing like afternoon drops and now evening drops and stuff like that, I guess, in order to try and stop their site from crashing. I don't know. Just add more servers, yo. Their site is crap sometimes. Anyway, okay. Other than that, here's what's interesting. On the 27th, Jose Delbo, who we've talked about his drops previously at Maker's Place, right? Yeah, it's very comic booky stuff. But so recently, DC Art and artist subjective. I don't think these are great, but that's just me. I just wanted to point it out because this brings up a good talking point. Jose did he did some comic book art that he sold on, it was either Nifty or Maker's Place or something. It was these like Wonder Woman art and stuff like that. And recently DC has come out and specifically said, we do not want people selling our intellectual property. Like we don't support the selling of NFTs if it's using our intellectual property and stuff like that, which, okay, I get.
Ryan Summers pointed out in our Slack,
right,
that they were allowing people before, like comic book artists, to sell their original drawings that they did of these comic books. So it kind of feels like, well, why are you changing your policy now?
Right.
But money,
I think they've seen like the popularity with like Boss Logic and some of these other ones, because recently I don't know if it was Boss Logic or someone else's drop got canceled specifically because there was too much, there was too much worry about legal repercussions of, selling artwork and stuff like that. And that's going to be, I mean,
there's going to be a lot of that.
Here's the thing. Here's my opinion on it, and this goes back to the whole argument with NFTs and stuff like that. What you're selling is not necessarily a piece of art, right? What you're selling is a token which speaks as a certificate of authenticity, right? You're selling the certificate of authenticity. You're not actually selling the art. You're saying that, I created this piece, and now I'm selling you a token that says I created this piece, and I'm selling you the certificate of authenticity saying that I created this piece. So technically, I mean, an NFT is not actually physically selling that piece. You're not selling any copyright to it or anything like that.
You're not selling copyright. That's true.
Right. You are not actually physically selling that piece to someone. Although I think some people would argue the opposite. But anyway, what you're selling is a token.
Yes.
Where'd I go? Anyway, so I'm interested to see. I mean, I think the IP stuff is going to be, it's going to be, there's going to be one big, it's eventually going to go to the Supreme Court, and then they're going to figure it out from there,
There's going to be, there's going to be that. There's going to be, gosh, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's going to be policy. There's going to be litigation. There's going to be regulation. It's just going to become nightmarish.
Yeah.
The gas prices are going to go up.
Like,
it's just
Dave and I were talking about, like how can you prove that you're not like laundering money through some of these sites or something? You can't. You can't prove it. It's like, okay, I'm going to post something for Super Rare. I'm going to list it for $2 million. And then I came out with that $2 million legally because I bought a, then you pay the taxes on it, and like, it's all drug money or something. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, like where it becomes an issue already right now is like in the U.S., for example, with gambling, with online gambling, in all sorts of different areas. These sites will get shut down because not necessarily, like it doesn't mean that the gambling site itself is doing any money laundering, but what happens is people figure out how to use their services to launder money, and then it becomes the burden of the site owner themselves to guarantee that people who use their service are not laundering money. Now, how do you guarantee that? How would you
ever guarantee? It's the same with Amazon selling a box of cereal for $19,000, right? We've seen that before. I don't know.
But that's going to be the issue, right?
That'll be an issue.
What if somebody says somebody is laundering money on Nifty, and it's like, okay, Nifty, your site is down until you can prove.
Right.
It's like, how do you ever prove that? So the regulation is going to be hairy.
It's gonna be crazy. Yeah. So that's on the 27th. Jose Delbo has created his own comic book character, I guess, Bitcoin Man or whatever it's called. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the 28th. Josh Pierce. Josh Pierce just recently did a drop, and I really like Josh Pierce's stuff. But he's collaborating with OG Esports, which to me is weird.
By Red Bull?
Right, sponsored by Red Bull. It's like, okay, corporate America is getting on the NFT thing, just like. It's like it feels like I don't know. It just feels like
it feels
whatever.
Forced.
You know what?
You're saying it feels forced. I understand.
Here's what I'll say. If Red Bull came to me and said, "Give me $1 million, or I'll give you $1 million to create an NFT," I would say, "Yeah, let's do it." Right? I will be the biggest hater against people who sell out, but I will be the first person on the list to sell out if they offer it, right?
What you're saying is you don't have to make it so in your face advertising, right?
Right. Yeah. Plus, and who's to say some of these places are probably doing, maybe they're doing it for charity or something, but if they're just lining it in their own pockets just to get in the game, whatever. Okay. Yeah. So anyway.
As long as it still has some meaning behind it and it's not just...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. As long as it's not, drink Red Bull. Here's an NFT, blah, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Well, that's the thing, right? What collector is going to want to get something with ads all over it? Like,
right. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, I get it.
But I like that. Josh Pierce's stuff at least looks like Josh Pierce's stuff.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Like I really hope that all these corporations and stuff who are wanting to get into NFTs are actually giving the artist 100% free reign in order to create something that is originally theirs.
Totally.
You know, and limiting the amount of changes or whatever. Anyway, all right. So.
Yeah.
That's it for Nifty Gateway. There was a couple on Maker's Place that I thought were really cool. First off, the 24th, which is Wednesday, Corridor Digital Crew and Beeple.
What?
They're doing. Yeah. So remember a while ago when Beeple came into their studio and did a daily with him, you know? So I think Beeple came back just recently, and I'll find the link to put in the show notes. He did an interview with them all about talking about NFTs and stuff like that. And I think while this was going on, they decided that they would do a 2-hour render. So all of them teamed up, and like some people did different renders and whatever. They did
their own dailies.
They did their own dailies, right? With people and stuff like that. So. This one, this is a drop that's happening. They're doing it to for COVID-19 charities. All the proceeds from are going to COVID-19 charities, which is awesome. I think it's great that Mike's doing this. He's also doing another drop on Nifty. I think it might have closed like yesterday or today or something. Where he's auctioning off an original piece on Nifty Gateway that's also going to charity, which is fantastic. Any way he can reduce his tax burden is great by me. Right. So, but yeah, so that one is going to be on the 24th, and then on the 25th, Arbin Villa Salu. I don't know. These very satisfying loops and stuff like that. They did a drop on Nifty back in November. It's a lot of the same cool, satisfying stuff.
Very satisfying.
Right? Yeah. So satisfying.
Nice.
So yeah.
Cool.
That's about it for the main drops and stuff like that. For community drops, Dave, you got anyone notable from the community drops? I know
community drops. I've got let's see. Oh, you know what? I kind of have them out of order here.
That's okay.
Let's see.
I'll give a first shout out. Paul Robinson. I don't know if he mentioned it last week or the week before, but he just released his bot series. It's a 3-part bot series on Rarible. Really cool looking stuff. We mentioned the Awaken one a few weeks ago, but he's released a 3-part on all of them. I think it's fantastic work. So really excited about that one. Go pick that one up today.
Yeah.
Then Dave, you've got a couple
here. Yes. First of all, Revelo.
Yeah. Ravioli.
Ravioli. We call him many different things.
Yes.
He's got his stuff on Foundation, which we had been, chatting with him, and I was like, dude, you've got to get your stuff out there because he does so many dailies. So I really like this Crystal Bath one. The blue one that he's got here. This is really good.
Hey, look who invited him up at the top.
Oh, who invited him there?
Oh, yeah. Didn't even have to ask her a Foundation invite.
Look at that. Yeah, I promised him one as soon as I got one, but I haven't gotten one yet. By the way, mine is still up for sale if anybody's interested. Still hasn't sold yet. But, so check his out. Then also, Ross had a very successful one last week. I want to say Bill Ellis. I think Bill Ellis bought his first one because it was skulls. The Skull-lidoscope.
The Skull Kaleidoscope or whatever. That's so good. Yeah. It was such a good piece. I remember watching that and just being like, oh my gosh. See, this is like that to me is what this space is all about. Creating something so cool, that you're just like, oh, I have to own that. Yeah. I want that.
Now this is version 2 right here we're looking at, but yeah.
But still, it's super cool stuff.
The super kaleidoscope, like he chopped these up, and like kaleidoscoped them. It looks so so cool.
It's so rad.
It's very satisfying to watch.
Very. Yeah.
And I'm all out of order here. Who else? I want to make sure we're not skipping anybody. I also have a note. Oh, Jeff Burns.
Yeah, Jeff Burns.
Got his first one up on Foundation, actually. Yeah. So we got that here.
Look who invited him as well.
Did you invite him as well?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Jeff had bid on one of my first pieces, so I felt not obligated, but I was very excited to give him my first Foundation invite.
Nice.
By supporting me, I wanted to support him too. So I have no more Foundation invites. No one asked me for any. Yeah.
It's like, it's just anybody random who hits you up right now. It's like, hey. It's like, hi.
Oh man, I know.
Wait
ever since we started doing the drop, I get so many messages on Twitter, and I'm just like, all right, when you gonna ask for a Foundation invite? It's like, hey, how's it going? Good. What's up? Oh, nothing. Just doing my thing. How are you? It's like, dude, I'm sorry.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Thank y'all for listening to the show, but I don't have time to
don't have any invite.
Have a really long conversation. You really want to know how my day is? Because I'll let you in. I'll let you in. You don't want to open that can of worms.
You don't really want to know that. You just want a Foundation invite,
right?
Which we don't have anyway.
But we still we have a couple listener drops, people who have actually hit us up and been like, hey, check out my stuff, So
I haven't even had a chance to look at these yet.
Yeah, a couple of listeners just hit us up, and it's great. If you are doing a drop, feel free to send us your stuff, info@mograph.com. We'll check it out. We'll throw it up on the show, give you a shout out. So, there you go. Let's see. First one up, we've got Burton L. Dropped a couple of pieces on OpenSea, and apparently this is in collaboration with Wu-Tang Clan, which is interesting. So I hope you own the copyright to be able to use Wu-Tang Clan. So
is there music? I got everything muted. I'm
assuming
there's music with this. Oh yeah, be careful with that copyright.
So I don't know if you are doing it. All more power to you. That's great. So. Next up, we've got Marco Hanholo did a reminiscence of war. I couldn't say that word. Reminiscence of war on Foundation. So that's a piece that they sent over to me. So wanted to give them a shout out. Feel free to hit us up if y'all have any drops that you're making this week. And that's about all I got for the drop.
Yeah.
See, it's a short show this time.
Yeah.
Because the NFT space is dying down a little bit. It's starting to the rush of artists.
Like we said
it's normalizing.
Yeah.
It's becoming like people were finally learning about it, and so once we all learned about it, we needed to get in. There was this big FOMO that all of us were having, and we all wanted to mint our first pieces and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, now we've all done that. Let's normalize this now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh, hey, look who it is.
Oh, it's Dorpy.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Dorpy.
How's it going there?
It's good.
NFT's going okay?
Yeah. Someone bought all 10 of mine for $1 each.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
I was
as a dog, it's kind of hard for me to earn the money to justify those gas prices. I hear they're through the roof.
Oh, gosh. Ding.
Yeah. So why does anybody have to pay for gas prices anyway when I'm full of it?
What? All right.
Yeah, I think it's time for you to go, Dorpy.
Yeah, come on,
You gotta get going. All right,
Bye,
yeah. I gotta go take care of my NFT capital gains taxes with my accountant. He's gonna send me a Schedule K9.
Oh, you are so fired, Dave. You're so fired.
All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
You got an invite to Foundation?
Don't. I'm sorry.
All right. See you later.
Oh my god. Give him one.
How long ago did you come up with those jokes when you were running?
No, not when I was running. When I was doing taxes, though.
Gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I will say, by the way, I will have a link. There's some crypto links that I have in the show notes. You do have to check into how you pay for your taxes when it comes to these pieces of art, because there's capital gains taxes and things. So make sure you check all that out depending on your country of.
I mean, if you're going to be able to do the tax, you know, if they're going to tax you, you need to write off all your gas prices too. That's all I'm going to say. So keep track of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I have any other? I think I had some other links here. I wanted to say that that the REF's Clubhouse calls are still going on. Make sure you follow them on Clubhouse if you're on iPhone. We've been trying to record them. Finally got a system down to actually record them legit. Maybe not
even
legit,
though that's against terms of service.
Yeah, but a way to record them to where they actually sound decent. So been posting the links to that like in the NFT Facebook group. We'll see if we can get like a good system for rolling those out, or people can get them. I'll link to that in show notes as well. And what else? Joey Camacho did a video for Mike Winkleman
for people
to
I thought. See, that's the problem with
I told
artists.
You to send it in, man.
I didn't have. I you know, I procrastinated and then I didn't get on it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But
that's all right. I told Mike personally, congratulations.
Yeah, well, true. But I did get to hug my beeple for the video, you know, which was always that was fun. So I'll post that in the show notes as well. Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it for the drop.
See, told you, short. Let's do it. Yeah. All right, we're done.
Drop. Is this the fucking mic? This is exactly what I should be doing.